he's a funny guy compared, with what everybody's been telling me in here. And I hope you give him the same respect you've given me while he's up here, sir. Yeah. All right, let's bring him up without any further ado right now. From Madison, Wisconsin, Patty!
Well, I sort of got railroaded in on this deal, but I can tell you a couple of quick jokes. The first one here, we got a little community south of Madison called Stoughton. And we'll start right off there. Ole's down there, and he called the Stoughton Fire Department. The Stoughton Fire Chief answered. He said, "Stoughton Fire Department, can we help you?" "Yeah," he said, "this is Ole." He said, "Well, what can we do for you, Ole?" He said, "Well, my barn's on fire." Well, the fire chief thought a minute. He said, "Well, how do we get out there?" Well, Ole thought a minute. He said, well, don't you have that red truck anymore?" Well, here's another one. This woman's worked in this factory for about 20 years. Never been to an office party. Well, funny, one day she broke down. She went to an office party. Well, she got bombed out of her mind. Next morning, first time in 20 years, she's late for work. Well, she gets dressed and goes off and gets aboard the bus. It's after rush hour, just her and a young man aboard the bus. They head for town. Well, about halfway to town, she starts feeling pain in her stomach and that. Well, what she's got to do is pass a little gas. But she don't want to embarrass the young man or herself. So they come to a corner.
Right a little bit.
The bus goes, shh, shh. She thought, air brakes. I'll time it with the air brakes. So the next corner they come to, the bus, shh, shh. I looks over at her and she really gets red in the face. Why did I ever blow this one, Well, what can I do about it? She said, well, I got to break the monotony somehow. So she said, say, young man, she said, you wouldn't by chance have the morning paper? He thought a minute. He says, no, I don't, man. But he said, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll roll the window down, give me a handful of leaves, and next tree we go by. Oh, yeah.
Go, Patty!
Here's another Norwegian one. Ole and Lena. Ole's working in a pickle factory, all right? So he come home one day and Lena says, Ole, she says, how was your day? Well, he said, my day was pretty good, but he said, that crazy Ben down there in the pickle factory wants me to put my pepper in the pickle slice. Well, did you? Lena, I don't put no pepper in no pickle slice. Well, that's good, Ole. Well, the next day he come home and Lena asked the same question. Well, how was your? Well, he said it was good, but he said that crazy Ben, he still wants me to put my pepper in the pickle slice. Well, Lena, I don't put no pepper in no pickle slice. Well, that's good, Ole. Well, the third day he come home, she asked the same question. He said, well, my day wasn't too good today. Well, why not? Well, he said, today I stuck my pepper in the pickle slice. You didn't? I did. Well, what happened? Well, he said, I got fired. But he said, what happened to the pickle slicer? Well, she got fired too.
Keep going, Patty!
Well, anyway, this eagle's flying over a swamp. He looks down and sees a little frog on a lily pad. So he peeled off and he went down and he grabbed that frog, ate him. Flew back up and he's flying along there, and it wasn't too long when the old frog sticks his head out of the eagle's ass. Eagle! Yeah? Frog says, how high are we? About 7,000 feet. Frog said, you wouldn't shit me now, would you? Oh, yeah. Giuseppe, a pizza dealer in Rome. Running around Rome delivering pizzas, okay? Funny, one day he goes right through a radar trap. The cop grabs him. Giuseppe says, I'm going to give you a ticket. You've been speeding too much. Hey, don't give me a ticket. Don't give me a ticket. Don't give me a ticket. I got to take a pizza here for the Pope. A pizza for the Pope? He looks up and down the street, huh? No, but all right, he says, I'm gonna let you go this time, but ever haven't, yeah, and away he goes. It ain't 20 minutes later, he's right through that radar trap again. The cop said, what did I tell you, Giuseppe? You're getting a ticket. Don't give me a ticket. Don't give me a ticket. Don't give me a ticket. He says, I'll give you half the tip the Pope gave you. Half the tip. The cop looks up and down the street, huh? He says, all right. He says, give it to me. He goes, all right, there's a little kid in school, first day in school. He's sitting there in his class, and the teacher is asking their names. So he comes to him and says, what is your name, son? He says, my name is Johnny Fuckhour. What? Well, my name is Johnny Fuckhour. You tell your correct name or I'm taking you to the principal. My correct name is Johnny Fuckhour. Took him down to the principal. This child will not tell me his correct name. But he said, Mrs. Principal, I did. Well, what is your name? My name is Johnny Fuckhour. I'm taking you home to your parents. Wait a minute, he says. I got a sister here in the 7th grade. You do? Well, they went right up to the 7th grade and opened up the door. Said, is there a Fuckhour in here? A voice come back and said, hell, we don't even get recess. Here's a cat and a rooster. They're sitting there, and there's a creek in front of them. Across the creek is a big pile of corn, okay? Bunch of little fat mice around the base of the corn, eating, you know, and the cat says, God darn it, he says, I'd like to get over there and get some of those mice. They look really appetizing, you know. Well, the rooster says, well, the hell with you. You see that pile of corn? I eat corn, and he backs up and he runs and he jumps over the creek, lands on top of that pile of corn and starts eating it, you know. He gets all gorged up and he cock-a-doodle-doo and he lays down and craps out. Well, the cat will piss on him. I'm getting across that creek. So the cat backs up and he runs for the creek and he right in the middle of it. Sploosh. You know what the moral of the story is? Anytime you find a satisfied cock, there's always a wet pussy close by. Century, Madison, Wisconsin. This priest just got assigned to Madison. He's walking along this Lake Mendota, which is one of our lakes there, and this guy comes rowing in with his boat, and he, you know, it's before motors, and he's got more fish on that boat that he couldn't get one more fish on that boat. And that priest comes up to him. He said, "Pardon me, sir." He says, "I have never seen as many fish in that boat that I have seen in my lifetime that you have in your boat." He said, "What kind of fish are they?" He said, "Well, Father, they're sons of bitches." Sons of? Hey, I'm a priest and you're telling me? Well, he said, "Father, there's something between a grayling and a carp. We don't know what they are. We just call them sons of bitches." He said, "Where do you catch them?" Well, he said, "Right around that point out there in about 12 feet of water." So the priest, he rents a boat, and he goes out there with his pole and can of worms, and he catches a boat full of them sons of bitches. So he brings them in, he goes home, cleans them, and he calls the Monsignor, the bishop. Says, "Monsignor, would you like to come over for dinner?" He said, "Well, what are you having?" He said, "Well, we're having sons of bitches." Hey, wait a minute, he said, "I'm a Monsignor and you're a priest." Well, he explained what the fish were. Well, he said, "If that's the case," he says, "you wouldn't mind if I brought a young lad, he's studying to be a priest, over." "Oh, no," he said, "bring him along. We got more sons of bitches here than we can handle." So they got over there, and the priest goes, "Oh, my God," he says, "I can't get one more son of a bitch in me." You know? And the Monsignor, "Oh," he says, "I am just full of them sons of bitches." And the young guy looking at them both, he says, "You know, you fuckers are all right."
I think he's going to tell the camera.
He's sitting there talking to a salesman. The ring.
No, too long. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's too long.
No, go for it. Go for it.
Please. Yeah, I'll flee you. What do we got now? Yeah, the three-legged. The salesman's talking to a farmer. And the farmer, he's talking to him. And the salesman looked over at the farmer's shoulder. You see a three-legged hog running around the front room. He said, my God, he says, you raise hogs in your house? The farmer said, one moment, he says, that just isn't a hog, that's a super hog. He said, let me tell you about that hog. He said, 4 years ago, his little piglet lived outside. One night he ran up on the screen door, on the porch, jumped at the screen door, squealed and squealed and jumped and squealed and squealed. Finally got us all out of bed, ran us up on the hill. I'll be damned, a flash flood went through, wiped out the house, saved our lives. My God, the salesman said, that is a damn good. You goddamn right, he said, that ain't all. He said, 2 years ago, we had the hog living in the house then. One night he woke us all out of bed, forced it down in the storm cellar. I'll be damned, a tornado went through, wiped out the house a second time. Oh my God, he said, that is a damn good hog. But the salesman says, you know, something puzzles me. He says, how come the hog's only got 3 legs? Well, the farmer says, hell, you don't eat a good hog like that all at once. Oh yeah. Back in biblical times, Christ is on earth. He's walking into a small town. And there's a group of women standing outside the city going to stone this one to death for having intercourse out of wedlock. Well, he stopped them from doing this. He said, if there's a virgin among you, let her step forward and cast the first stone. So this little old woman walks out of the crowd, picks up a rock, throws it, hits this girl in the head, down she goes dead. He just shook his head, he looks over, he says, you know, some days, Ma, you just tick me off.
Hey, golf course. Moses and Jesus on the golf course. 3 guys on the golf course.
No. Yeah, the 3 doctors in Europe. They're talking how easy it was to operate on their people. One of the Irish doctors says, in Ireland, it's very simple to operate on the Irish people. We cut them from the throat to the groin. We open them up, and they're color-coded. Any faded color we find, we pull the old color out, put a new color in, sew them up. It's very simple to operate on the Irish people. But a German doctor says, in Germany, it's the same way. He said, we cut them from the throat to the groin, we rip them open, they are numbered. Any faded number, open to the old, go back in the new number, sew them up. It's very simple to operate on the German people. Well, the Polish doctor says, in Poland, it's the same way. He said, we cut them from the throat to the groin, we open them up, we stick our head inside, we look up. At one end is a mouth, at the other end is the ass, and they're interchangeable.
Yeah.
One more, huh?
The ringtail. The ringtail.
I'll tell you about I come and no come.
Yeah.
2 Chinamen living in China years ago. I come and no come. No come was married to a beautiful and young Chinese girl named No Come too. Well, I come was single. Well, one day I come went to visit his friend No Come. Well, upon arrival at No Come's home, I come found out No Come was not at home. Of course, No Come's wife, No Come too, invited I come to spend the night with her. Well, that night No Come too came, which gave I come great pleasure because I come came too. Well, it wasn't long when No Come found out he was going to be a father. But No Come wondered how come. So, when the child was born, he named him How Come You Come. To this day, No Come to and I come know how come you come games. But to this day, No Come doesn't know how come you come games. Thank you very much.
Good stuff. All right. That was fun. Those were great jokes. How come you guys, a lot of you, I guess you brought a lot of your friends with you, right? A lot of you guys were saying, tell that joke, tell that joke. You guys have heard those before, huh? No. You've heard them about 1,000 times? All right. Well, that's good. Patty, you did a heck of a job. That was a good job. What y'all think? Good job?